Yeah, I'm Professor Madhav Pokhrel. I'm a professor of linguistics from Tribhuvan University, Central Department of Linguistics, Tribhuvan University. I got retired some 15 years ago, and now more busy than while I was working in the university. You may have heard or not, I don't know. Have you heard of Jagadamba Nepali Sahityako Brihat Itihas, an encyclopedic history of Nepali literature? It's a 5-volume history of English literature. I am the chief editor, and almost 6,000 pages of A4 size dictionary, the history of Nepali literature, is now finished. So for that also, I am busy. I am a prolific writer, a linguist. I have developed orthography in 69 unwritten languages of Nepal, and so I'm interested and the member of the Folklore Society. So there are several affiliations where I'm somehow tied up like Gulliver in his Gulliver's Travels, that's all. Yeah, very good question. In fact, my name is Madhav. Madhav is Sanskrit, Prasad is Sanskrit. Only my surname is not Sanskrit, it is Nepali. Pokhrel is Nepali. So in Nepali dictionary, there are almost 60% of the vocabulary is Sanskrit, not less than 60%. And so that is one of the reasons. Besides, since I am brought up in the Brahmin family, and in the Brahmin family, the language Sanskrit is supposed to be the language of the Brahmins. They should read Sanskrit, they should study Sanskrit, and because all our scriptures are written in Sanskrit, and our Annaprasan, there has to be some Sanskrit slokas, and for our naming ceremony, there is Sanskrit. So a Nepalese cannot be born, cannot live, cannot die without Sanskrit, because Garud Purana is there even when you die. So in doing a Nepalese, a lifetime of any Nepalese, Sanskrit is there. Even if someone is protesting or speaking against Sanskrit, he cannot speak without using Sanskrit words. So it is very interesting that you can without using. So that's the reason Sanskrit is with me, because my name is in Sanskrit, and when I have to give my Gotra also. Gotra is a Sanskrit word, and if I give Atreya, that is also Sanskrit. All the Mandira, the word is Sanskrit. So Vidyalaya is Sanskrit. So we are surrounded by Sanskrit. That's the reason I'm very much interested in Sanskrit. Very, very good the question, because for that I should the answer may be a bit long. Yesterday also in the podcast in the presentation, my topic was the status of Sanskrit research or scholarship in South Asia. In South Asia, have you heard of Macaulay, Thomas Macaulay? So Thomas Macaulay, he was an education officer appointed by the British government in the colonial India. At that time, the British government appointed him and gave him a job assignment to design an education plan which would fit the colonial people of of India. And Macaulay visited all over India and gave his report in the British Parliament. He said that I visited all over India, but I didn't meet a single beggar, not a thief. What an ethics! So the ethical status of the Indian people is very great. So it is all because of their rich culture, and their culture is embedded in Sanskrit. So unless, if you want to continue our regime in India, we should either stop Sanskrit or discourage it, or go on gradually discouraging it, and in its place we have to implement compulsory English education in its place. So after that, British government gave implemented compulsory English education in India. And so after 5 years, Macaulay wrote to his father, my dear father, I am very happy today because compulsory English has been a very great thing of attraction to the people of Dhaka and Calcutta. So in none of the schools we have been able to give admissions to the seekers of the admission. So if such a situation continues, my dear father, there will be a time when there will be no Murti Pujak in any house of a Bengali Brahmin. So this will be the situation. So I am very happy. So if this situation continues, people in India will think that Sanskrit, English is richer and Sanskrit is poor, and that the West is more developed, our India is undeveloped, our knowledge, we don't have any knowledge, they have knowledge. So all these syndromes will automatically be generated, and without imposing on human rights, without violating the human rights, people will take our religion also. So it's very easy to convert them. So that was what Macaulay wrote to his father. So today, and after that time, it was 1836 when Macaulay designed this education plan for colonial India. Macaulay has said that we have to produce a middle class, educated people in India who should be loyal to us. They should be treacherous, disloyal to their motherland and their people. So we don't need to make them educated. We simply need an educated interpreter. They should interpret between us and the mass. So the educated Indians should look like Indians. Their skin should be like that of Indians. Their face should be like Indians. But their heart should be towards us. So that was so Macaulay's education plan for colonial India was a weapon against the colonial India power, colonial India, for the benefit of the Britishers to loot the resources of India for perennial periods. So that was the treacherous motive behind his education plan. So this was there, but when Janga Bahadur Rana visited England. After that, in order to please the Britishers, he also started compulsory education in Nepal. First of all, he started in Darbar High School, and in Darbar School, it was in Thapa and in his royal course only. So, but Janga Bahadur didn't understand. He was patriot, but he didn't understand that the education, if he could not discriminate the type of English education in India, designed for India, and the type of English education designed for the British people in England. The same English, the English education design in England was to make the citizens patriot, loyal to the people and country, but the type of education which was designed by for India was to create a disloyal, treacherous, educated people who should always look for the West, and they should forget about their country, their people, their resources, and because to be Indian was to be undeveloped, and to be British is to be developed. So that type of mentality was germinated in the hearts of the minds of the Indians for 5 generations. So that 5 generations of practice and torture and the syndrome which was developed in the educated Indian people still continues in India. So it is not and so even today, the educated Indians don't like the poor, the urban people don't like the villagers, they hate. So this type of thing, and then the politicians don't like, they have to, for taking votes, they say speak something, but do against the people, against the country. That is in India. But our Nepal was never under any colony. But so for Nepal, Janga Bahadur could have designed a type of education which would produce the patriot Nepalese, but he fell victim to Macaulay's education, English education. So even in Nepal, today none of the students go to school to be in Nepal. Everybody is going to go to America or abroad. So this situation, the whole these vicissitudes have been created by the implications of Macaulay's education, and what we have imitated Janga Bahadur foolishly imitated the Pandora's box here. Yeah, in fact, do you know inertia? Inertia of motion. Yeah, inertia of motion, the first law of motion by Isaac Newton's. So first law of motion says that everything continues its state of motion or state of rest unless and until any external force is required. This is called the first law of motion or law of inertia. So since the inertia, when the bus is running, you cannot abruptly stop it. It is very difficult to stop it. So since the inertia of our education system is going to produce a mass which is tempting towards going to the foreign countries, and our politicians are also igniting. They are also helping. There is corruption and not development, no opportunity. So people are bound and tempted to leave the country to foreign countries. So all these things are they have been joined and they are forming connected, and they are forming a vicious circle. So it is difficult to control. But one of the things is that this if today in Nepal, only because of this Macaulay, people, or maybe because for other reasons, people in Nepal, they don't like to copy what the poor people are doing. They like to copy what the rich people are doing. They like to copy what the whole people from the towns, urban people, like are doing. People in the villages like to copy. This is all. This is also somehow connected to Macaulay's education plan. So today, if you will see, so who is going to study Sanskrit? Only poor people. None of the rich sends his or her children to Sanskrit schools. Why? Because of Macaulay. And so in order to do this, we can give, we can just shift our focus. So if the schools like D.A.V. starts teaching Sanskrit, or Ulands, or any the rich people, the very high fees charging schools, if they start teaching Sanskrit as a compulsory subject, at least up to the high school, up to high school or below that, then poor people like to copy them. So it will be difficult in Sanskrit schools to get admission, because there will be crowd of people. So today, since only poor people, those in Sanskrit schools, you will see poor people from this town, only those the household servants, and those who have come from the poor people who have come from the villages, remote villages, they are going to Sanskrit school. And those people, since they also like to do, they like to get the facilities, they are also attracted by what the rich people are doing. So the Sanskrit schools have been their stepping stone. They like to live somewhere else. So in this way, even in Sanskrit schools, there is no attraction. Although the facilities are given to the poor, but the Sanskrit schools and colleges are meant for the poor. So something which is meant for the poor is never copied in any country with aristocratic background. So this should be changed first. Second thing is, why do teachers, high school teachers who teach in government schools, send their children to private schools? Why? They should have taught their children to government school where they are teaching. It means it is not that they are rich, but the whole mass, since they are going towards the rich people, their children are also attracted to go, and so they are also tempted to send them. So, and the whole people are planning to go abroad. So it is not. So this is the situation that I don't think in Sanskrit teachers also do not teach their children Sanskrit. They are teaching English. And you know, today, in the English schools also, the English of the teachers is also not good in government schools. In the private schools, it's better, but it is not up to the optimum level. So this English has become even the market. So it has become a capital. If you know English, you are thought to be a big shot. But if you know Sanskrit, you are hated. Hey, this is probably backward person. So such syndrome are very difficult unless the political, socio-economic, political situations are changed. It is difficult, but for the time being, of course, D.A.V. school gives the Sanskrit course, but other schools do not give. So if Sanskrit, there are video lessons, even probably this Central English, this Sanskrit institution of India has developed some 40 video conversations, lessons of Sanskrit. If those video lessons are just played in front of the students and without using any other language, by direct method, they learn to speak Sanskrit. Mama nama Madhava, bhavata nama kim, tasya nama Kesava, tasya nama Radha. So in this way, just by imitation, by direct method, it teaches Sanskrit. So even in the rich schools, the schools meant for the rich people, if they start giving priority to Sanskrit education, the poor, other people, even the Sanskrit schools will not get students. They will also run towards the rich schools. So that is one of the ways, but it is difficult because even if in today, the whole technical dictionary, technical words, Prakash Sansleshana Kriya means synthesis, photosynthesis. So all the technical, scientific and technical words are coined by Sanskrit. So all the governments are so technical vocabulary and all the cultural words are Sanskrit. So in this reason, Sanskrit predominates, but since Sanskrit is not being taught, so even today there are incorrect Sanskrit words like Sangathan, Sangathit, Sangathanatmak. They are not Sanskrit words, they are Nepali words. But many people think they are Sanskrit words. Similarly, Punarasthapana is a wrong Sanskrit word. The correct Sanskrit word should have been Punasthapana, following Sanskrit. So there are many things, I don't know. It is very difficult to break the vicious circle, but probably the easiest way would be to the government, the private, highly paid, the private schools, if they start Sanskrit with the priorities, it will be, it can be probably generated, I think. I don't know. No, it was not Sanskrit. They are neologism. They are newly coined words. No, it was not there. Okay. Because photosynthesis word came with biology. So when it came with biology, in order to teach biology, instead of using photosynthesis, photo is Prakash, synthesis is Sansleshana. So Prakash Sansleshana is photosynthesis, just
new word.
Yeah. So in order to coin, neologism means new words from the native sources. And for the native sources, we have been using Sanskrit dictionaries and Sanskrit grammar. So Sanskrit is there in our heart, in every day. Even you, if you ask anybody, have you studied Sanskrit? You will say, no, I have not. Do you know any Sanskrit word? You will say, You don't know, I don't know, but you gave me, speak me one paragraph, and I will show you at least 100 Sanskrit words in a single paragraph. So this is Sanskrit is there, but I don't know, we don't know. We have been using Sanskrit. So can you, if you just count the names of government institutions, Shiksha Mantralaya, Shiksha is Sanskrit, Mantralaya is Sanskrit, Pararashtra Mantralaya, Pararashtra Mantralaya is Sanskrit, Tribhuvana Sanskrit, Vishwa Sanskrit, Vidyalaya Sanskrit, Pariksha Sanskrit, Niyantrana Sanskrit, Karyalaya Sanskrit. So without Sanskrit you cannot just name institutions also. There is Sanskrit everywhere. The only thing is people don't know they have Sanskrit. In South Asia, not only in Nepal, in South Asia, not only in, probably in Newari language, they call nowadays Nepal Bhasha or Newar language. In Newar language, so in Nepali, as for example, my name is Madhav is Sanskrit, Prasad is Sanskrit, Pokhrel is not Sanskrit, that is Nepali. But in Newari, Tej, Ratna, Kanshak are all Sanskrit. Kamal, Prakash, Malla, all Sanskrit. Padma, Ratna, Tuladhar, all Sanskrit. So in Newar, even the surnames are Sanskrit. So very interesting. Bajracharya is Sanskrit, of course, of course. Sudeep is Sanskrit, Sudin is Sanskrit. Yeah, of course, this is the first because they started it in 1972 and this is the 19th international conference and they have organized it here because probably thanks to Dr. Kasinath Nevpani, who had been the professor of Sanskrit University in Nepal, Nepal Sanskrit Vishwavidyalaya, and now he has resigned and he is now in Delhi teaching in the same institution which organizes Sanskrit. So he is the convener of this conference. Probably due to him that Nepal has also been fortunate to be the venue of the World Sanskrit Conference. Yeah. Nothing, because in the world, Sanskrit studies is of two types. One type is called amic. Amic means from internal view, from a view from inside, insider's view. Another is outsider's view, which is called etic view. So Sanskrit is being taught from the insider's view in Sampurnananda University of Banaras, Varanasi, and Nepal Sanskrit University is also from the insider's view because you cannot expect a Sanskrit professor to speak English. He should not, he cannot read Sanskrit books written in English. He cannot read research papers on Sanskrit written in English. So this is a kind of setback because you cannot think. So, but in the West, so Banaras, Nepal is a child of Varanasi University. Nepal's university is a child of Varanasi school. And so, but even in India, the scholarship of Kolkata, scholarship of Pune, Chennai, or Varvada, they excel in, there is comparative study. So they are even the same person. They study, they write thesis on Sanskrit. They write, they do translation, and a lot of research works are being done in those universities in both Sanskrit and English. The same person can speak Sanskrit and English. So they know where the Westerners have written wrong about Sanskrit. As for example, I can give today also. There was a presenter had written that there is some mistake in translation. As for example, dharma. If you ask, if anybody asks you what is the word for dharma, you will say religion. Of course not. It's a wrong translation. Some Indian may have translated our dharma into religion. As for example, to be hot is fire's dharma. Is it fire's religion? No. To be cold is ice's dharma. Is it his religion? Menstruation is the women's mashik dharma. Is it her religion? So, and if you see the definition in Oxford Dictionary, what is religion? Religion is an oath taken by anybody in any church by promising that after taking this oath, I am not going to do this and this thing, and I will do this such and such things. So only after that promise, so that type of oath and that type of discipline is called religion. Has ice taken any oath to be cold? So this word, the simple, there are many problems in that. So in our translation also, I don't know. I should stop. I don't know. I'm lost somewhere because maybe I have missed your question. So in Sanskrit, in this conference, there are scholars from China, from Russia, from Germany, from Italy, and from many countries of the world, from Japan. So they are all doing research on Sanskrit. So if Sanskrit had been a useful thing, why would those people do research on Sanskrit? But for the people of India or South Asia, Sanskrit is a thing to be deserted. So there is a paradox, no? So yesterday I had read a sloka on from Katha Upanishad, which says that all our sense organs are turning outside. So we can sense from outside only. We cannot sense inside. We cannot see inside because our eyes are turning outside. Our ears are turning outside. We can listen to others, but we cannot listen to ourselves. So this is the crux of the problem. So we cannot look inside. This is the problem in why people in South Asia have deserted Sanskrit studies. It is a weapon. It is because of the bombshell which was thrown by Macaulay on the heads of the colonial Indians. One sloka I say from Panchatantra, which writes, Tyajet ekam kulasyarthe, gramasyarthe kulam tyajet, gramam janapadasyarthe, atmarthe prithivim tyajet. The meaning is, Tyajet ekam kulasyarthe, for the benefit of the people, family, the benefit of a single person should be subdued. Gramasyarthe kulam tyajet, for the benefit of a village, the benefit of a family should be suppressed. Gramam janapadasyarthe, for the benefit of the country, the benefit of the village should be suppressed. And atmarthe prithivim tyajet, for the benefit of oneself, one should suppress the benefit of everything. Okay, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Forget about everything.